Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right? New Taurus readings every Monday and Friday. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Prince of Cups. I like the Prince of Cups. This is our first card. We'll start here. This is someone who is striving to live an authentic life. Yeah. Someone that is trying to express their own truth in the world. I feel like you're learning how to express your emotions, right? You're learning how to create relationships that are more in line with who you are and what you want. Yeah. There could be a water sign person very close to you in life that you're trying to kind of have this interaction with. This is an emotional interface. Yeah. This is understanding how we communicate our emotions, not just through words, but how the way we react to things, the way we kind of mirror the world. You know, because there's water on the surface here, but there's air right in the middle. It's kind of a bubble. Yeah. And on the surface there, it's a lot of reflection. And I think it's a defense mechanism that a lot of us have, most of us, I think, where we can reflect back to the world the same kind of energy that it's giving us. You know, you walk into a room and you just kind of feel the vibe of people, the vibe of the room. My cat's up there feeling the vibe too. You know, you can sense the room, you can get a sense of the energy, and then we start kind of matching that in order to blend in. Yeah. And especially too when we're talking in a more intimate group of people, if you have a feeling of someone's vibe or aura or their emotional energy, you're able to kind of morph into that a little bit. And I think that really shows an empathy in you. I think you're an intuitive empath, really. And I think you have that ability to enter an interaction with someone and feel what they're feeling. And it's very easy for you to kind of shift into that and build rapport with people. But then there's this idea of, who are you really? What do you feel? What kind of energy are you putting into the situation, right? So we're trying to live more authentically in that sense of understanding where other people end and where we begin, okay? Now we got our first card here. We had a card that jumped out of the deck, which we'll save as a little extra bonus card. Now let's select our last card. And this is the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. One random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to, oh, that one looks good. We'll put Mr. Ed, the tiny horse, right there. A tiny horse because I'm also a little horse from having my bronchitis this week. We're not going to look at that card until the end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need, okay? If at any point during the reading you have a feeling or a hunch of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. Okay. So we have we've got our Prince of Cups, right? And that's kind of it. We could be talking about a water sign person that's close to you. We'll see if they show up anywhere else in the reading. But I feel like this is your vibe right now. This is your aura. This is your energy. And I feel a strong, kind of natural talent for empathy in you. But let's do another card here. Now we've got this Hermit. So I wonder if this kind of intense ability toward empathy that you have is sometimes too much to handle, right? So I wonder if you've been kind of, withdrawing from the social scene a little bit. If you've been trying to distance yourself from a lot of these social relationships, friendships, family relationships, especially now, it's kind of the end of the year, holiday parties and gatherings and festivals and all this stuff. Maybe you're just kind of not feeling it this year, And maybe there is a lot going on in the friends circle or the family unit that is just kind of turning you off to the whole situation, that you don't want to go into that environment and have to absorb all of that emotional energy. Yeah. So this is a card, the Hermit here is saying, I wonder if you are choosing a different way of celebrating this year. Instead of going, everyone gets over to grandma's house or whatever, maybe you're doing something different. Maybe you're just staying home. Maybe you're celebrating with only your close friends or your immediate family. Yeah. Doing something smaller, more intimate. Rather than putting yourself kind of out there with all of the energy of everybody kind of around. Yeah. But whatever it is that you're engaged with, maybe it's not anything to do with family. Maybe this is kind of a general way that we're experiencing, like our work environment, let's say, right? We have to learn ways to kind of cloak ourselves so that we don't have to absorb all of that energy coming from other people, right? I'm kind of getting this, getting like almost you watched that show, What We Do in the Shadows, right? The Colin Robinson kind of scenario, where once he locks onto you, that's it. Now he's going to just suck your energy, right? But if you're cloaked, if you're concealed, if they don't see you, then you're not going to get pulled into these kinds of conversations or this kind of situation where you're going to just be drained maybe of your vitality because you're absorbing so much of this emotional energy. So I wonder if there is a way that you're trying to do that, where you're trying to just kind of stay in the background lately. If you're trying to maybe avoid the large crowds, avoid the groups of people, avoid the big holiday gatherings, right, as a way of kind of protecting your energy right now. Well, let's take a look at some more cards and see. Well, we've got a 9 now, yeah. And the 9 of Swords here it's difficult because this is a powerful card, and this card can really hurt because this is sometimes a very painful truth that is underneath the surface. This is kind of down below in the reading right now. And it's Mars in Gemini. So this is really some brutal force when it comes to telling people what you really think, And it could be that we're trying to kind of conceal this. Maybe this is why we want to kind of cloak ourselves. We don't want to be drawn into these kinds of situations because we're afraid of what we might say. Yeah, because sometimes it would just feel good to tell everybody exactly what you're thinking in that moment, but you would regret it later, right? So I think that this is for everyone else's sake, you're trying to put a little bit of distance between things. Yeah. I wonder if there's a lot kind of going on in the family or at work or with the friends that doesn't really need to be talked about right now. I mean, maybe eventually things need to be worked out, but at the Christmas party is not really the time to start calling everybody out, or to kind of to let this kind of venom loose, because I think you're someone that, while you do have this compassion and this empathy, there is a point where I think your natural force and your natural energy is going to push back. Yeah. And there is kind of an overload from this kind of intuitive empath business that you're doing. So it makes sense that we have the Hermit energy, because maybe we do need to distance ourselves from all of this energy. I feel like you're absorbing a lot of emotional energy. Yeah. And I think it's kind of encroaching on your personal space, your interior spiritual space. And in order to to not kind of lash out and, spit venom, right, with this Nine of Swords. I think you're choosing to kind of to go hermit. It's almost taking some time off, or, maybe you do some kind of psychic or mediumship work, some kind of empathic healing or something like that, and maybe it is time to take a little bit of a break from it, right, in order to gather yourself, center yourself, and understand and reestablish where the boundaries are between other people and yourself. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. See, now this is some really vibrant, robust energy. This is perhaps, when this started, it was easy for you to kind of absorb and discharge the emotions coming from other people. See, now there's, with the fire on the outside here, right? It's almost as if it would just, you would do this work. And I really think that maybe you do this as a vocation, right? This kind of healing work, or some kind of counseling or therapy, or something where you really are taking on emotions and stuff from other people. But this could just really have to do with family things. Could be, work stuff too. I think at one point it was a lot easier to be in these situations, and all the negative energy coming at you would just burn up in your atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's like you're a fiery sun, and that stuff just wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't make a difference. You wouldn't even feel the impact, right? It would burn up before it ever got to you, right? There's a lot of fire on the outside here. But now as time goes on, I feel like we're kind of we're maybe a little bit depleted. It's almost as if our shields are down a little bit. And now that delicate water that's inside the Queen of Wands, right? It's water of fire here. Now that water is on the outside. So now it's almost just like we're a sponge for all of this kind of negative energy, this emotional energy. Yeah. And it's not just burning up on the surface of the sun like it used to. Now it's really sticking. Yeah. So I feel there is a shift in kind of how you've been able to deal with some of this mental, emotional, spiritual energy that's coming into you. Okay. We've got now a Five of Swords. So continuing with this path, it's kind of we're stuck between two difficult choices. This isn't really these aren't alternatives. This is kind of inside this is what you really want to say. This is what you end up saying, right? And the Five of Swords is not very good anyway, but at least it's a little bit better than the Nine of Swords. But I think that this is the lack of the current, perhaps, lack of rapport that you might be feeling with people. I know at the beginning I said you have this ability to really get in touch with people, to tap into them and really build this rapport. But I feel like now you're kind of wondering, like, where did my superpowers go? Yeah. You're like, I can't seem to connect with people. Okay. And I think it's because of what we're talking about, because the way this energy is kind of sticking to you. And the Five of Swords is us beginning to think, I've lost it. I don't have the gift. I'm not as good as I thought I was. A lot of pessimism here, a lot of negative internal monologue, a lot of doubt. Okay. So with this card, we really need to flip it upside down. We need to put spirit back on top. We need to think in positive terms. And if there is a reason, if I'm not feeling it, I can't get into the zone, I can't get into the vibe, I just can't connect with people. What's the reason for that? It's not because suddenly you don't have that capability. It's just that something is either clouding that resource for you, or the energy that it takes is depleted, right? So we have to think in positive terms. What could be in the way here? What could be going on that you can fix, right? So let's, we haven't done this in a while. Let's do one of these positive affirmation cards. This is Botanical Inspirations. Well, I didn't even have to shuffle. That's the one. It's the Morning Glory. Affection and determination. The morning glory, which blooms for a day, differs not at heart from the giant pine that lives for 1,000 years. Alan Watts said that. I didn't know he said that. So, morning glory, that's a very nice looking card. Affection and determination, the morning glory, blooms for a day. Has the same heart as the giant pine that lives for 1,000 years. So, to me, it's really saying that we have to allow ourselves a couple of bad days, that we are not going to, we can't be always on all the time. You can't always be absorbing. Sometimes we need to go into hermit mode. And I think that what it's talking about is allowing yourself to take a day off. Allowing yourself to just say, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to go do these things. I don't want to participate. And I don't think there's anything that's really forcing you to. The family will understand. Work will understand if you have to take a time. Your friends will understand, and if they don't, then they're probably not really your friends anyway, right? So it's kind of this idea that just because you can't be the perfect, whatever we're saying, empath or whatever, just because you can't be perfect every single day doesn't mean that you're not perfect, right? It doesn't mean that you're a complete failure, right? It's not either or like that. It's not either we're in this fire energy and we're confident and we can handle it all, or we just can't handle anything. Everything bothers us and it's miserable, right? We're going to have good days and bad days. Yeah. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't mean that you're any less valuable. It's not an indication of your intrinsic worth. All right, that needs to be very clear. Let's do another card. Speaking of worth, right, and value, 10 of Pentacles. So see what a couple of days of hermit mode will get you is wealth, right? Full restoration. It could be as simple as that maybe you feel a little bit of anxiety about these holiday parties, the family gathering, or whatever the obligations seem to be. It's okay to stay home. Right? It's all right to maybe only show up for 11 out of the 12 days of Christmas, right? That's okay. Because you have to focus on what's good for you, and you want to be restored 100%, right? And there's that 10 of Pentacles. Now, 10 of Pentacles is asking you the question, what do you value? What is more important to you? Not letting all those people down that are expecting you to show up? Or is it your health? Is it your spiritual health, your physical, mental, emotional health? What do you value? Yeah. And do you recognize your own value? Do you value yourself enough to say, you're going to take a day off, you're going to go hermit mode, you're going to cloak yourself, you're going to choose not to participate or interact, You're going to choose not to absorb everybody's negative emotions. Come what may, because that is how highly you value yourself. All right. Now we're going to switch over to the path of the serpent. My voice is getting terrible. As we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy when you shout out where in the world you're watching from. I find that fascinating. Taurus readings, Mondays and Fridays. All right, let's get into it. General energy, 7. 7 of Swords. This is the futility now. This is saying, hey, even if you wanted to try to go and do this, it's not really going to work. You're just going to probably, set yourself back even further. There's futility in this, right? There's this idea that you could probably force yourself to go do this, but it's not going to, nothing good will come from that. Yeah. So the seven of Swords is usually us trying to stick to a particular course, and then other people are trying to throw us off course, right? Trying to say, hey, no, come over here. No, go that way. No, go. And you're just trying to stay right on that center Ace of Swords. You're trying to stay right in your lane, straight and narrow, right? I feel like this is the other way around now. I feel like you can't stay on that center lane. I feel like no matter how hard you try to stay on that, there are so many factors that are kind of gonna force you to take this hermit mode energy. That it's useless for you to try to fight against your own kind of intuition, right? Your own instinct about this thing. This is kind of a card, even in a strange way. It says you got to listen to your body, right? Not listen to your head, because your head's going to try to tell you a million different things. Listen to how you feel, right? Really, really experience what your body is trying to tell you right now, what your emotions are trying to tell you as well. The sevens are very much about confidence, yeah. And depending on what exactly the situation is for you, maybe this is work, maybe this is school, maybe this is like you got to take a couple days off from your studies, or maybe this is because it's, I guess, the holiday break, finals or something. I really don't know. But it's kind of the worry that if we take a couple days off now, what if we can never get started again? What if when we come back to it, it's just completely wrong and we've lost our mojo, And I'll tell you, I can relate to this because I had to take I took one day where I didn't record any readings, and I was worried that because I was sick, I got the bronchitis, I took that day off, and the whole time I was thinking, God, what if I go back to, the channel tomorrow and I just can't read tarot anymore? You know what I mean? And that's kind of a little bit of seven. It's trying to haunt you. It's trying to say, hey, come back to what you're doing because, you need to be here. And we're trying to stay off that center track. We're trying to stay in bed, But there's all these little voices that say, no, just go do a little bit. Just go film one reading. Just make one phone call. Just do one thing. And we're trying not to, right? So it's kind of the opposite of the way the Seven of Swords usually works, where we're trying to stay on the track and the little voices are telling us to go back to bed and take a rest. No, now we're trying to stay in bed and take a rest, and the little voices are telling us, hey, get back in your lane, right? So we need to have the confidence that when we come back to it, we're going to be stronger, better, ready to go. We're going to be right in our prime. Interestingly, now we've got a kind of a mirror of the Ten of Pentacles. So just as I was saying that, in the environment shows up the Universe card, which is completion, which is wholeness, which is kind of like the Ten of Pentacles, but now cosmic in scale, right? If this is this is your idea of wealth and value manifest, this is the entire universe, like in the palm of your hands, right? The world is your oyster now. So it's kind of like we're worried that we're going to come back to our work, come back to our game, come back to our life, and things are not going to be as good as they were. We will have lost something. But no, the Universe card's saying that after you take your hermit thing, and now maybe you're sick too. Maybe here, look at this. Maybe the fire to water here is saying that you once had this vitality. Right now you're feeling under the weather, and it makes everything that you're trying to do rather impossible, right? You're just not in the mood to do what you normally do. You can't bring yourself to do it. The best thing for you to do is to rest and heal, get restored 100%. And when you come back to what you do, when you come back to your kind of regularly scheduled life, you're going to be bigger, better, and badder than before. Yeah? Maybe this is really a good thing, right? Take a couple of days to fight off your illness. You come back, you're going to be better than ever, right? I think that's quite a positive way to look at things. Let's try another card here. Well, yeah, see, now we even got the Six of Wands here, and that's victory. And this is saying that you will have this restoration. But I think this is really a good learning experience for you, because the Six of Wands is about victory, it's about overcoming challenges, but it doesn't tell you what you should do. It doesn't tell you what the right maneuvers are to achieve the victory. Is victory kind of, pushing through your illness and going to work anyway? Or is victory really quieting down these doubts and this hostility and all this kind of mental anguish and allowing yourself to rest and recuperate because you value your life and yourself and your well-being? Is that victory? Right? Which one is the win? So it's a situation that is teaching you a lot about yourself, right? And I think that when we do return to our kind of daily life, I think that you will be even more capable of bonding with people. That you will have something in you is going to be even stronger. And I think people will feel that. People will be drawn to that. And this is almost an ability now to not necessarily absorb every emotion that is coming your way from other people, but not either to kind of burn it all up, and to kind of disintegrate it. But really it's to take it and almost transform it, right, into something positive. And this, I think, is the difficulty, and it's taking negative emotions, negative experiences, right, challenges, obstacles, and turning them into opportunities, turning them into strengths, right, your weaknesses into strengths, the negative emotions into kind of positive moments to bond with people. Yeah. But I think it's really, there's a lot of, you're very sensitive to other people, to the energies coming from others. It may be how you've always kind of been. See, now we've got a tower at the end here. And with the tower, I think, on the one hand, we're getting this idea of if you were to try to persist, if you don't take this time for yourself, I think it's going to be disastrous. I think your health is going to decline. I think that maybe this, for some of you, this is an illness that you might be presently experiencing. And I think the more you try to fight your body's natural suggestion to rest and relax and recuperate and restore your health, the further you're going to descend into this, into agony, really. I feel like some muscle pains, and I feel like there's really a lot going on in this Tower card. I feel like it's kind of a spiritual, it's a learning experience for you in a spiritual way. But I think it's also very practical. It's trying to teach you to listen to your body, and we all have a hard time. I have a hard time doing that, especially with my throat, right? And it's interesting that we've got that fire out of the mouth right there, right? This is kind of like maybe some sore throat issues, some laryngitis, which I was experiencing, still am, you can hear. We've got to listen to our bodies and know when to rest, know when to kind of shut down communications and go a little bit hermit. It's okay to do that. But it's not easy for any of us really to force ourselves into that, because you are committed to what you do. Now, whether this is school, family, friends, whether it's career, whether it's your spiritual practices, whatever it is, it's okay to take that time to isolate. The recovery time is very, very important. Just if you're into fitness, if you go to the gym, if you work out, you lift weights, you know that the recovery period, that's when the muscles really grow, right? What you're doing through the actual work is tearing the muscles, which kind of looks like this, right? It's in the hermit mode, the rest and recovery, that those muscle fibers can repair and get stronger, right? So it's a process of tearing down and building up stronger. And I feel like that seems to be the theme really here, with especially with the 10 of Pentacles and with the Universe card. Well, what is this extra card that we had? It's not the mystery card. This is going to be just something else, right? Let's take a look at this one. It's the 6. Okay. So we got a 6 here, we got a 6 here. It is about building things back up stronger. Now we've got fire to earth, right? And the 6 is kind of that perfect, it's the perfect growth of something, the perfect state. It's the harmony. It's the strength. It's almost like it's stronger than the 10 even. It's the perfect shape that just cannot be crushed, right? It's it's just that harmony and that resonance that it's the strongest formation that we could hope for. So it's interesting with these energies, and I wonder if there is some sort of a physical component here. Maybe it is a health thing. Maybe it is just kind of a sickness, an illness that you're dealing with. Maybe it has to do with work. Maybe it is family, friends. Maybe you're sick. You got to take time off work. Maybe you are into fitness, and maybe when you get sick, you can't go to the gym for a couple days. Then, what's going to happen when we go back? But I think this should be very reassuring that things are going to be even better than they were before. Yeah. Let's take a look at the mystery card now at this point and see what it might provide for us. I don't know what we really need. And we don't have any water energy except for the water that we began with, which is the water that we're kind of trying not to experience right now, right? We're just trying to cloak that. We don't want to be so sensitive to that. So maybe we need a 6 of Cups too. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying a 6 of Cups to show that now we're kind of ready to have those emotional experiences again, to make those connections, to build that rapport with people. And, to feel things again, but we're not in this kind of hypersensitive space that we're in right now. So 6 of Cups. Put your prediction down in the comments. Well, it's a Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Fire and earth again. This is some Capricorn energy. This, I think, is very, very important, because if you still are kind of on the fence about what to do or not do, should I go, should I stay home, should I call out? The Knight of Pentacles is asking you, where do you see yourself at the end of the month? All right, this is a reading for January. Where do you see yourself in February? Okay, if you want to get there, what do you have to do today to make sure that happens? Who do you want to be in February? Well, whatever you do right now today is going to contribute to who you are next month, next year, 5, 10 years down the road. Every thought, word, and deed in the present moment is an investment in our future self. Are you investing in yourself right now? That's the big question. It depends on what you consider your worth. What is your value? Okay. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New Taurus readings every Monday and Friday, but I'm here every day. So just come back tomorrow and we'll talk again. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.